Kia ora, and welcome to Friday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. Today we lead with news. More vessels are moving out of the Strait of Hormuz, but incidents are generating nervousness in a fragile situation. But first to the US, PCE inflation rose to 4.1% in May, and as expected, a rise from 3.8% in April. Core PCE inflation rose too, also as expected, and is now at 3.4%. Meanwhile, both personal income and personal spending rose at essentially the same pace. More generally, it is not only the Gulf War impacts driving inflation. AI is pushing companies to raise prices to cover its investment. For example, MacBooks and iPads are up 20% on this recovery push. May durable goods orders in the US fell sharply from April, but recall April was relatively strong. But from a year ago, they're also lower, down 4.4%. Capital goods orders dived 21.5% in May from a year ago, largely on very weak aircraft orders. US initial jobless claims fell slightly more than expected last week and more than seasonal factors would have indicated. There are now 1.73 million people on these benefits, lower than a year ago. But much tighter requirements are preventing many from claiming this or any other social safety net options. The Chicago Fed's National Activity Index slipped lower in May after the somewhat unusual improvement in April. That means it has decreased in 8 of the past 12 months and was flat in another one. However, the Kansas City Fed Factory Survey was much more positive in that region in its June edition, delivering one of its most upbeat results since the post-pandemic recovery. Global container freight rates rose another 5% last week to extend its rising trend that started in early May by adding 82% in that period. From a year ago, it is only up 40%. Driving this latest rise are outbound rates from China to the US West Coast. Bulk cargo freight rates are little changed this week, however, remaining 60% higher than year-ago levels. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.39%, down 1 basis point from yesterday, and the price of gold has risen back to $4,032 an ounce, a net $54 gain from yesterday. Silver is just on $58 an ounce, up $1.50 from yesterday. And oil prices are up $1 from yesterday at just on $71.50 a barrel in the US, while international Brent price is now at just on $75 a barrel. Hormuz transits have picked up, with 41 crude or product tankers exiting over the past 24 hours and 21 entering for new loads. There are still hundreds yet to try their luck, no doubt inhibited by insurance issues. And overnight, one ship was hit by live fire from an Iran warning, and this incident saw the oil price rise. The Kiwi dollar is up 10 basis points from this time yesterday, at just on 56.5 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're down 20 basis points at 81.7 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're unchanged at 49.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 60.4, which is unchanged from yesterday, and still near its lowest since the GFC in 2009. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $59,377 and essentially unchanged from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been high, though, at just on plus or minus 3.1%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again on Monday.